From the San Antonio Express News, I'm Joy Marie Scott, and this is your Express Briefing. A wary but hopeful former Army medic in San Antonio finally becomes a citizen. Alina Kalishna thought her quest to become a U.S. citizen would happen quickly after joining the Army and becoming a medic, but she failed a lengthy security clearance investigation given to foreign-born troops. After sitting on her application for 2 years, U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services was ordered by a federal judge to make a decision by January 10. She left the Army with an honorable discharge but wanted to stay, and in fact wants to return to the military now that she's a citizen. She's been living with her dog Ivy in a house she bought a few months ago. One of the officials on hand for the ceremony said the country could use her service. Interfaith Welcome Coalition on the front lines of migrant aid in San Antonio. Once a small group, the Interfaith Welcome Coalition has grown into a full-fledged operation that provides aid to migrants in San Antonio and now in northern Mexico. The Coalition of Faithful Volunteers has become one of the most prominent organizations dedicated to migrant aid in the city. The spark, one member said, came in 2018 when volunteers started to notice something different. The families were arriving unusually fearful and clutching each other tightly. Conservationists and descendants explore forgotten San Antonio African American cemetery. For decades, the clues to the locations of long-forgotten African American cemeteries in Bexar County lay buried in the cobwebs of history. The grave sites languished in obscurity until the 21st century, when noted San Antonio historian Everett L. Fly began to decipher the signs that not only did the sites exist, but they were part of once thriving black settlements. After months of research, Fly confirmed that the Hockley Clay Cemetery was one of 3 African American family cemeteries in the Wetmore area. San Antonio's police property room stores lost treasure, evidence, oddities. Cremated human remains, a 6-foot ceramic bull, the 100-year-old headstone of a child, 2 invitations to a ball from the 1930s, enough firearms to supply a small army. How about 874 ironing boards once stuffed with marijuana? This is a peek inside the property room that stores more than 2 million lost items waiting to be retrieved, as well as paramount pieces of evidence for cases. This is a peek inside the property room that stores more than 2 million lost items waiting to be retrieved, as well as paramount pieces of evidence for cases. Consider a subscription to the Express News, the voice of South Texas since 1865. Just 95 cents for the first month, a digital subscription helps support our work covering San Antonio and South Texas. You'll get access to all our stories on expressnews.com. Join the effort at expressnews.com/subscribe. And another news to know today. Doctors and public health experts from San Antonio will make up the bulk of a revitalized statewide task force dedicated to chronic kidney disease. Dozens of San Antonio families flocked to the Institute of Texan Culture's Sunday for Buffalo Soldiers Day, part of Dream Week San Antonio. Underfunding the IRS allows billions of tax dollars to go uncollected each year, and missed opportunity hurts us all, writes the Express News editorial board. The San Antonio River was back to normal again this weekend after workers dragged out truckloads of debris. Cowboy boots, a laptop computer, a Texas Rangers baseball cap, a walker, an alarm clock, and lots more. Via Metropolitan Transit will host a telephone town hall at 7 p.m. on Wednesday to listen to residents who wish to discuss the agency's new Via Reimagined plan. The Texans authored their own chapter in Houston's tortured NFL history Sunday, blowing a 24-point lead en route to a loss to the Kansas City Chiefs. After a slow start, DeMar DeRozan led the Spurs to a comeback win over the Raptors last night. Having turned 30 in August, DeMar DeRozan is hearing more and more young players tell him they are trying to emulate him as a player. And now the fun stuff. Daring souls turn out for Polar Bear Plunge YMCA fundraiser. Water temperatures 55 degrees. Air temperature 47. Wind chill 41. More than 30 people jumped into a frigid pool to raise money for the Schertz YMCA over the weekend. And watch, San Antonio girl Sammy Haney will return to the hit sci-fi series Raising Dion, which has been renewed for a second season. And we have 9 books, fiction, nonfiction, and young adult, to add to your reading list from the San Antonio and beyond. And it may be the second week of 2020, but if you're feeling nostalgic, here are the 10 best recipes our taste team recommends from last year. And in travel, an Austin startup has created a ride-sharing app to take you between Texas's 4 biggest cities. Visit expressnews.com for the full story on all of the headlines and more. To hear San Antonio's top news, subscribe to Express Briefing wherever you get your podcasts, or ask your assistant to play the Express Briefing podcast. For the San Antonio Express News, I'm Joy Marie Scott.